Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting session on Unacademy CAT-alyst. A very good morning, and today's session will be about what happens if you are not able to solve any caselet in the first 20 minutes of your CAT exam. Can the scenario arise? You never know. I hope, we pray that the scenario doesn't arise. But this is something out of your hand. And let's say you fall in this scenario. How do you handle this situation is what we are going to discuss for the next 15 minutes. So first thing first, as always, I will tell you, give me 10 seconds to ensure that I'm streaming live before we get started with the session. Perfect. I think we are streaming live and we are good to start. Let's get started. So we talk about today a scenario which hopefully is unlikely, hopefully doesn't occur with any of us or any CAT aspirant. But like many other things, there are a lot of cases which is probably not in our hands. And this is a scenario which might definitely arise for some of you. I say might, okay? Now, what is the scenario we are talking about? What if I am not able to solve any caselet in the first 20 minutes of the CAT 2020 examination? Okay. Now, think about it. In your CAT, you have got three sections, right? The CAT has got three sections. So, you have got verbal, you have got LRDI, and you have got Quants. Now imagine, where can the scenario arise? For sure, the scenario will not arise in verbal. Why? Verbal, I would say a lot of you find it very tempting to tick mark an answer. You understand or you don't understand, you feel that my mind is saying, so let's say I tick C, okay? So I'm not getting into the details why you should or why you should not, but you not being able to solve any question in the first 20 minutes of the verbal paper would not arise. 99.9% case, it would not arise. I cannot imagine a scenario where you are not able to solve a single question in verbal in the first 20 minutes. So we are not talking about the verbal section here. Okay. LRDI, can it occur? Very likely. If this scenario were to occur, it would probably occur here. Very, very likely. LRDI. Quants, can it occur? I wouldn't say it would occur, but is it impossible to occur in Quants? No. It is less likely, but definitely can occur in Quants as well. It is less likely, I admit that, but definitely can occur in Quants and very likely in LRDI. First 20 minutes are gone and you are not able to solve a single set. So in this particular session, right, the next 15 minutes, I am going to focus on the LRDI section, okay? Now, before I talk about this section, let's look at CAT 2017. Why did I mention CAT 2017 only? Because this is 1 year where LRDI was the toughest. LRDI was the toughest in the last decade. If you ask me which was the toughest paper for LRDI, it has got to be CAT 2017. Now, I'm not worried about VARC at the moment. I'm not looking at overall at the moment. I'm not looking at QA at the moment. What I will only concentrate is DILR. Think about it. Even if you are asking for a 75 percentile, how much was the score? How much was the score? 12. Just 12. Remember, we have into 3. So, number of questions, marks is into 3, right? Into 3 marks. Number of questions into 3. So if it is 12 marks is the cutoff, how many questions did you actually solve? You only solved 4 questions. Just 4. And you ended up with a 75 percentile. And remember, 4 out of 32. Look at the 98 percentile. Just 11 questions. If anyone would have solved, okay, out of the 32, you would have ended up with a 98 percentile. And look at these last 3 numbers, 35, 42 and 48. Immediately, something should strike your mind. Something should strike your mind. The first thing is, between a 90 and a 95th percentile, it was just a difference of 2 marks, which is not even one question, in LRDI. if even if you were to get looking at this 99th percentile, right? 42, meaning 14 questions, 14 out of 34, 14 out of 32. Now think about it. Less than 50% correct, less than 50% correct fetches you a 99 percentile. Now, what was my rationale behind showing you these numbers? And 99.5 is exactly 15%, right? 50%, right? 16 correct out of 32 is exactly 50% correct. Now, why did I say so? A scenario where you are actually not able to solve any caselet in the first 20 minutes of the CAT is probably or most likely the reason behind it. One of the reasons could be it is not your fault. But you know what? The paper itself is very, very, very tough. Right? So 20 minutes are over. You have not been able to solve any set. And is it justified? Probably yes. Why? That might be the scenario with a lot of you. Imagine a case where you know what? Caselet 1 is actually very tough. Caselet 2 is actually very tough, and probably caselet 3 is also very tough. You ended up, the first 20 minutes are over, you have absolutely solved nothing. Now, I am talking about people here who are preparing well for the exam. Now, if you are preparing for your CAT 2020, if you are doing your homework, if you are putting in effort, you must have given a lot of mocks. Now, when you give a lot of mocks, the CAT for you is just another practice match, right? It's just another match. Probably the finale, you have played a lot of practice matches and now you're playing the grand finale. Because you have played a lot of practice matches, the people who prepare should be able to tell at this point that fine, the questions are actually difficult. It is not only me, but even others who might not even be getting these questions correct. So, what do you do? 20 minutes are over. Now, there are two possibilities here. There are two possibilities. The first possibility is you move to question number caselet 4 and caselet 5. You move to caselet 4, okay, and caselet 5. I am assuming there will be 5 to 6 caselets in your exam. 5 to 6. So, you can either pick up the remaining 2 or stick to this 3. Now, what should you do? Now, at the end of 20 minutes, please ask yourself, am I on the verge of solving at least one of the caselets? Probably caselet number 3, you are midway. You are already midway through. Another 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and you'll be able to solve this caselet. Max 3 or 4 minutes. I think you should go ahead. Why? Because you have already spent probably 5 minutes on caselet 3 or probably 4 minutes already on caselet 3. Do you get the point? Already you have spent. So is it justified to spend another 3 minutes? Definitely yes. Why? Because even if you go to caselet 4, you would need minimum 3 or 4 minutes to solve caselet 4. Minimum 3 or 4 minutes. A minimum 3 or 4 minutes to solve 4 questions. So it is worth spending that time if you are midway through in caselet 3. Please spend the next 3 or 4 minutes solving caselet 3 and at least marking the 3 or 4 questions correct. You never know, the cutoffs can just be around probably 2 caselets. Just 2 caselets. So even if you at the end of 25 minutes you have solved 1 caselet, you still have 15 minutes to solve another caselet and you are good. You are good with it. Now, should I be taking guesses at this point of time? I will come to that. Should I take guesses because I'm not able to solve? Should I just tick and let's decide, let's say, let my luck decide. We will talk about it. The other way could be, the other scenario could be, even at the end of 20 minutes, whatever caselet you are in, you are not sure, you are not getting anything out of it. You are not even sure if you are doing it correctly. You have absolutely no clue. Then one way at this point would be, the first thing is look at the questions, look at the options, look at your questions and look at your options. Do the options give you some clue? Do the options give you some clue, or is there one question out of the 4 which probably you can already answer at this point in time? In CAT 2019, there are a lot of questions which even without solving the caselet, probably one question out of the 4 questions you can take. Is there such a question? If yes, please and try to solve that specific question in the caselet and try going to the next caselet and try going to the next caselet. Worst case scenario, there is not even such a caselet. There is no such case question in the caselet. So what will you do? You don't have a choice, but now you have to try from caselet 4 to caselet 6. The assumption I am making is in your CAT, you will get around 5 to 6 caselets. So let's imagine a scenario you are getting 6 caselets. So now you have got caselets 4, 5 and 6 remaining. Okay. Now which one do you choose next? At this point, because there are only hardly 20 or 18 minutes left, it is very, very important that you pick up the right set. Okay. I would suggest your hand must be trembling at this point of time. You must be sweating. You must be thinking that the year has gone a waste. Trust me, these things will happen during the actual exam if at the end of 20 minutes you are not able to solve. I would suggest take a 10-second halt, drink some water, take a halt, and you know what? Probably what is happening with you will be happening with a lot of other people. So it is just like a T20 match. The first 10 overs, 5 batsmen are out. The last 10 overs are remaining, but you can still win the match. And then you probably have seen a lot of instances, right? So the last 10 overs are still remaining, and these are going to make or decide or break your future. It's going to decide your future, right? So you know what? Forget about it. It's same for everyone. Take a break for 10 seconds, drink some water, come back and focus all your energy on the remaining 3 caselets. Now, which one will you pick up next is the question, okay? Now, I would suggest at least spend probably 20 seconds each at this point of time. 20 seconds each, just glancing at the caselets before you start solving. Question number caselet 4, just glance at it. Scroll up and down, you know, okay, this is a caselet on data interpretation. This is a caselet on a puzzle. Probably I have not come across this puzzle before. Or this is a caselet on games and tournaments. I love games and tournaments. So just look at from which topic has this caselet come. Which topic has this caselet come and how lengthy is this caselet? Right? Sarthak, I will answer your question. Let's just finish it, and for the last 5 minutes, I will take up questions. Okay? So what you see is, you see the familiarity. You see the familiarity and the topic. So check the topic and check the lengthiness. How lengthy are the remaining 3 questions? You pick up a topic which you are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with Venn diagrams, and question number 6 is on Venn diagrams, and you see it's a bit lengthy, please ensure that you pick up set number 6 now. You pick up set number 6 now, because now it is really important that you get this caselet correct. Because moment you get it correct, your confidence will be up. Otherwise, if you lose another 10 minutes, trust me, only the last 10 minutes will be very difficult to get a 90 plus percentile. 20 minutes left, you still can do it, right? So it is very important at this point of time that you choose a caselet in such a way that you are able to answer. And how do you determine that caselet? Your familiarity, your comfort level, and how lengthy is that particular caselet. Okay? So depending on it, choose that particular caselet at this point of time. Okay. Now imagine a scenario. Even at the end of 30 minutes, you have given a lot of mocks. You realize that, you know what, today has not been your day. The paper is not very tough. But I think I did not do well. For some reason, I got nervous. 10 minutes are remaining. I did not do well. The paper is not very tough. You know it. And how do you know? If you are preparing and giving mocks, you know about the difficulty level of the paper, right? So at this point, you should take some intelligent guesses. Anyway, you will not clear the cutoffs if you don't tick anything. You should definitely take some intelligent guesses. When I say intelligent guesses, I mean try to eliminate answer options. Try to eliminate answer options which you think can never be. And if you think, even if you are able to eliminate, let's say 2 options, right? Go ahead with one. Because the paper is not tough, but you have not been able to do it. And if you don't score well, anyway, you are not going to clear the cutoff, right? So probably, you never know, Lady Luck smiles on you and you might just tick something and that might end up to be correct. Then I would suggest go for it because you still have a 25% probability of getting it correct even if you guess it. So do that. Now, how many questions? Definitely, if you do guesses for all questions, you would not get a very good score. So select two sets which you are close, which probably you have spent 20 minutes in the first half of the exam. You got some part of it and now you are good enough to make some intelligent guesses. So probably two sets, or try to make some intelligent guesses. Not all the 8 questions from the two sets, but probably 4 or 5 questions. Try to make some intelligent guesses, because otherwise you are not going to clear the cutoff. Okay, that's very, very important. Now let's look at the questions. Sarthak is saying, others who have doubts, please ping your questions. I'll answer them. Sir, earlier in the old pattern, my DILR percentile was above 85 in AIMCAT mocks, but now in the new pattern, my percentile dropped below 50. Sir, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है क्या? So Sarthak, for sure, it is the time factor, right? Even you and I realize the only thing that has changed compared to the previous year CATs, right? The only one thing that has changed is what? The time limit. The only one thing that has changed is the time limit, right? So what you need to concentrate? You need to work on your time and speed. You need to work on your speed and time, and what? Question selection. And what? Question selection. Nothing else has changed, right? The questions are still the same. Only the time limit has changed. So what you need to do at this point of time is practice. Whenever you are practicing at home, please have a timer. Please have a timer on and set the timer to 40 minutes. Set the timer to 40 minutes and take, let's say, 5 caselets. Take 5 caselets initially to start with. Will you be able to solve all the 5 caselets at your home? No. Why? You cannot solve 5 in 40 minutes. But you will try to select out of the 5 at least 2 or 3 caselets initially to start with. So whenever you are practicing DILR for the next 20 odd days, please practice in slots of 40 minutes. Put a timer, take 5 sets from any source that you are practicing, and don't go in sequence serial order, but try to choose, try to make selections out of the 5 which you can solve. And let's say you initially you're able to solve 2 caselets, then increase this. Probably from 5 you can also come to scenarios where you'll be taking 6 caselets and be trying to solve at least 4 caselets. So there's no other way but to practice within the specific time limit. Did I answer your question? Anyone else? The next thing I was about to tell you is what happens if the scenario occurs in Quants. I was telling you in LRDI it is very much likely that this scenario will occur. Quants, obviously Quants does not have any case list, but there are individual questions most of the times, right? There can be a scenario where the first 20 minutes are over in Quants. 20 minutes over, and probably you got only one correct. It's perfectly fine. Unlike LRDI, Quants is easy to make a comeback. You still have 20 minutes left. And you need to, and I'm presuming because you got just one correct, the paper is tough. So in the 20 minutes remaining, probably you need to look at the second half of the questions. So if there are 25 questions, probably 1 to 12 we have already looked at. The last 12 questions are remaining. So out of these 12 questions, you try to make around 7 to 8 correct. Give around 7 to 8 correct. And this is very much possible because most of the times, many a times, the easy questions are towards the end of the paper. So it is very much easy. Do not falter if you do not do well in the Quants in the first 20 minutes. Unlike LRDI, don't worry. You know what? You can make a comeback very easily. Just ensure that in the next 20 minutes, probably the first 13 minutes, you are going to focus on the remaining questions. First 13 minutes, you are going to focus on the remaining questions. Okay? And the last 7 minutes, you are going to focus on the questions which you have marked for review. I am sure when you have spent 20 minutes in Quants in the first 20 minutes, there were some questions which you are on the verge of getting an answer. Alright? So please come back to those questions and make sure that you solve them. Okay? So Sarthak is asking, sir, earlier I was scoring 30 plus, but now my score dropped below. I'm getting too nervous. So Sarthak, definitely your score will drop, right? If initially the maximum marks in LRDI was, let's say, 32 questions. 32 questions, right? 32 questions you had, and into 3 was your maximum mark. So 96 marks was the paper initially. Now obviously the number of questions will hover around 22 to 25, and even if you do into 3, the maximum marks will be 66 to 75. 66 to 75. So accordingly, your marks will also drop. So you don't have to bother about it. What you only need to ensure is your percentile doesn't drop. Your percentile doesn't drop, and you continue to get out of the 5 or 6. If the difficulty level is, let's say, like the last year, CAT 2019, okay, you need to get at least out of 50% correct. 50% correct. Minimum. I'm not saying that will fetch you a very good score, but I believe if you can get 50% of the questions correct out of the 5 questions, around 2.5 to 3, let's say I'll make it 60% to be on the safer side, you will definitely get 99 plus percentile, assuming the difficulty level is like the previous years. It's like CAT 2019. So please make sure that these last few days concentrate on what I have been telling you, okay? And while you are practicing, you yourself can come in a scenario, in a mock, this last few days, that first 20 minutes, none of the LRDI puzzle you could solve. Perfectly fine. It's a T20 match. First 10 overs are over, but still the last 10 are remaining. And you know how many matches have been won by people, by batsmen playing well in the last 10 overs. They have done wonderful comeback, right? So it's for you, it's also a T20 cricket match. So just remember that. Yes, definitely, Sarthak, definitely. So also remember, it depends on the difficulty level. So whatever is your score, do not go with the score, go with the difficulty level of the set and the percentile, okay? So always look at the percentile, not at the absolute score, because that doesn't tell you anything. If the paper is very easy, all are level LOD1, level of difficulty 1 questions, then probably even if you solve 3 sets, it's not good enough. Why? It's so easy. Out of the 6, everyone is solving 4 to 4.5. So never go with the absolute marks. Always focus on the percentile depending on the difficulty level of the paper. Okay. I think that's it for now. I will be back at 12 p.m. today. 12 p.m. today, I am going to solve CAT 2019 paper LRDI section live. 2019 LRDI section live. Today, 7th of November, today 12 noon live session on LRDI paper solving, the LRDI section. Okay, so make sure that you join me live and you will enjoy the class for sure. So if you have liked this video, do definitely hit the like button. That's a request from my side, and I will see you soon 12 p.m. today for my next session on LRDI CAT 2019 paper. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Keep safe till we meet again. Thank you so much. Bye.